As you know, we do 1 p.m., 1 a.m. live streams Mondays through Fridays. So it is 1 a.m., technically, I guess, on Tuesday. Uh, Not only is it 1 a.m. on Tuesday, it is 1 a.m. on November 11th, Remembrance Day. So let's give it a few minutes. Let's see who joins. Let's see how many people. Welcome your local Spurs fan. You missed the 1 p.m. stream, but you made it for the 1 a.m. stream. So welcome. I hope you're doing well. How is your night treating you? Hit that like button. Don't forget. Um, but I am doing very well. No worries. I'm just happy you're here now. But don't stay up too late, for heaven's sakes. I forget what time zone you're in, but don't be staying up too late. Um, though I do appreciate you being here as always. What is Clash Royale? Just waiting to see who joins. These 1 a.m. streams, I don't have any specific topics. I just hang out and see what people want to chat about. I was talking a lot about Canadian Masonic military heroes. I guess everybody who's part of the military, you could argue, is a hero, but in this case, I guess more distinguished Masonic military veterans. It's a card game. Okay, I mean, I lately have been getting into playing a lot of chess online. Um, that's become my new thing at the moment. And in less than 2 weeks, in fact, in less than 1 week, no, actually, that's not true. In less than 2 weeks, though, I am excited to say I will be visiting um, beautiful Scotland. I'll be traveling to London, Heathrow first, then Newcastle, and then Scotland, um, which I am beyond excited for. So that is, I guess, the thing I'm most looking forward to. It feels like it's been a minute since I've traveled. I mean, oops, I traveled to Toronto recently and loved it, but I consider myself in some ways a professional traveler, right? And so getting the chance to visit London, Newcastle, and Edinburgh is going to be a blast. Hello, Dennis. Thank you for being here as always. I hope you're doing well. Um, Please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button and let me know. There's to anybody watching this, not you, Dennis. I know you're subscribed, but everybody watching this, hit that like button and let me know how you're doing. As I was saying, this weekend, or sorry, these 1 a.m. streams, I tend not to have any specific topics. Rather, we just wait and see and hang out. I mentioned this before during the 1 p.m. stream, but I did want to remind people. Normally on the 21st, I would do a 24-hour live stream. However, on that day, my lodge has a third degree. And on that day, I need to get ready for my trip. So we're not going to be doing a 24-hour stream. Instead, I'm going to be holding two exclusive live streams. One exclusive for Patreon members at 2 p.m. and one exclusive for my YouTube members at 3 p.m. Eastern. So the 21st of November, 1 to 2 p.m., my normal live stream. 2 to 3 p.m. exclusive member live stream for Patreon members, and 3 to 4 p.m. exclusive YouTube member live stream. So I look forward to it. It'll be a chance to speak to my members directly, to give them the chance to let me know what they're thinking of the stream, what they're thinking about Square Encompass promotions, positive, negative, and neutral, and what they want to see more of. I'll be doing a lot of special polls, giveaways, things like that. So make sure to tune in. What's up, Alabama? What's up, Z? How's it going? Thank you for being here. Um, How is your night treating you? And how are things in beautiful Alabama? Bama. I don't know what kind of mixed am I means. Are you asking about my heritage? Never seen it. Is Witcher good? I doubt it. I doubt it very much. When you say cold, define cold. Because I'm from Canada. Alabama does not strike me as cold. Um, I mean, that sounds vaguely racist. Cato, Super Mercado, but I don't quite understand why. But if I did, then that would be okay. 30 degrees is fine. Don't be a wuss. Don't be a wuss. I grew up in Winnipeg, all right? We would dream for 30 degrees in winter. That would be heaven. That's summertime in Winnipeg. Having said that, I would love to. I said I still want to visit Alabama. I feel very sad that I've never got around to it. There was a couple of times it got close, but never had any luck. So next trip is going to be London. Um, oh, so that makes it suck. Um, when it's a wet cold, that's brutal. Dry cold is much better. That's one thing I'm not looking forward to in London and Scotland. I'm told it's actually a very wet and like muggy and kind of it's very gross is what I've heard. The snow. It's very wet and sticks. Not looking forward to that. Um, I see why you are French. I'm not French either necessarily. English and my mom's family at some point is from Sweden, but they were all born in at least a couple generations back was born in Canada. So, but my dad met he was born and raised in England. Then he met a Canadian girl, and you gotta watch out for those Canadian girls, man. You know, every English mother out there, make sure you lock your sons up. Don't let them meet any Canadian girls, because next thing you know, they're moving to Canada, and that's the last you see of them. Oof, 112, I would die. I don't like heat. I'll take cold over heat. I will take cold over heat, 100%. We're going to give it a little bit more time, as always. Jump in the chat, say hello. Um, Mercado, do you have any questions, thoughts, comments, ideas on Freemasonry? Positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear them. And if anybody has any ideas about what I should see while I'm in United Kingdom, please let me know. I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are. If there's anything my audience wants me to see. Obviously, I'm going to try to check out um, Freemasons Hall in London, some Freemasons in Newcastle. I'm debating whether or not I can make it to Rosslyn Chapel, but believe me, it's on my list of things I want to check out. That's for sure. I don't think I'll be able to live stream Z, but I'm going to be posting a poop ton. I'm going to be posting a shit ton of stuff on my social. So follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook. I think this is going to be my chance to do more stuff on my socials. Um, and even make sure to check the community section on my YouTube page. Um, you look like Nick Birch from Big Mouth. I mean, I'm assuming Dylan plays too. Nick Birch is an incredibly handsome fellow, is what I'm going to choose to believe until I hear otherwise. Dylan, I think you might be new to this stream. Please hit the like button and the subscribe button. Tell you what, I will look him up if you hit like and subscribe. And do a super chat of 99 cents. How about that? It does sound a little bit suspect. Whenever anybody asks me to look anything up online, I've been burned by that many times, where I think I've been scarred by some of the things people have asked me to look up. All right, I'm gonna look this up, though you can at least hit the subscribe button. So Big Mouth Netflix. So it is a sitcom on Netflix. It's an animated sitcom. Um, well, thank you, Nathan. You could hit the like and subscribe button while complimenting my haircut. Um, oh, Dylan, or no, John Mulaney's in it. Jason Mantzoukas is in it. Jason Mantzoukas was on one of my favorite seasons or series of Taskmaster UK. So that's kind of cool. If you've never seen it before, everybody should watch Taskmaster. It's a great, it's a great series on. You can actually get it for free on Netflix, but maybe there's a way I can watch it. I wonder if I could actually. I was just talking out loud. I wonder if I could go to a studio taping while I'm in London. That would be incredible because it's. I think it's filmed through the BBC, and Taskmaster is the shit. It is the bomb. I believe you. Nathan, please hit like and subscribe. To everybody else watching this, please hit like and subscribe. Uh, and let me know if there's any thoughts you have on Freemasonry. Positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear them. Well, we got a bit of a troll in the audience, but that's okay. I tend not to remove people. We're going to give this another like 45 minutes. Usually my 1 a.m. streams go 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. Just waiting to see if anybody has any thoughts on Freemasonry. Again, positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear them. Or we can talk about other things as well. Like these 1 a.m. streams, I just kind of chat about anything. Um, I will be at the Remembrance Day service tomorrow. Um, at the Windsor Cenotaph, um, which is like 2 seconds from my place, which is really nice. So I hope that if you guys get the chance, you will also take part in Remembrance Day services if your area, your country has Remembrance Day services. Take a few moments, think of all those who either risked their lives or gave their lives for our freedom and have served our countries. I don't know who John Pork is, but he sounds like, I'm sure he's also a very handsome fellow indeed. Um, I asked a series of Remembrance Day Masonic quizzes. Interesting enough, so far not a ton of people have answered them. If you get the chance, I hope you will, on my community page. Let's give it some more time and let's see who jumps in the chat to say hello. Actually, I guess while I'm doing this, I really should have my poppy on, not just on my chair at the moment. I don't think so. I mean, I'd love to be an actor, but no one's paying me to do this, that's for sure. It would be very fun to be an actor, though. Sure, a lot of hard work. But no, I am a Freemason in point of fact. Veterans Day in the States, Remembrance Day in Canada, Remembrance Day in the United Kingdom as well. Um, Actually, I always get it mixed up in the States because you guys have Veterans Day and Memorial Day. But I always get them mixed up. But here in Canada, November 11th is Remembrance Day. Well, people have said I look like Matt Damon. People have said Matt Damon is the one I get the most often. Most people actually just say I look ugly. So take that for what it's worth. Canada is not irrelevant. Canada is my home. and I love it. So, why be unkind? That's my question to you, Nathan. Why be unkind? One of my distant, I mean, I have family in America. I don't know if I have any cousins in America, but Canadians and Americans, we definitely have a lot of close, we feel like family. I've always said, and I still stand by this, Canada is the greatest country in the world, in part because we have the greatest neighbors in the world. And I do believe that to be the case. So I love America very much. However, Canada wins. Canada's my favorite country. I just want to check on something, make sure my cat's okay. I'm not going too far, I promise. But I feel like, oh, there she is. Ah, Bandit's fine. I would highly disagree with that, Nathan. You could argue that America has done the most for freedom in the world, and you'd have a pretty safe bet. But that word only, first of all, not to say you're not very smart, Nathan, but what I've discovered over the years is usually people who use the term only are not that smart, because only is a word that cuts off thinking, as a general rule. So try to avoid using the word only. Um, and more to the point, that is not the case in terms of what we have and have not done. I would say, just in terms of fighting for freedom, during World War II, you need to give a lot of respect to both Canada and even World War One, Battle of Vimy Ridge, our forces on D-Day, and what was the Canadian beach? I can't think of the beach now. Like, but the D-Day invasions, Canada had a beach that they landed on, obviously. Cliff Chat, like there's been a ton in World War One and World War Two, as well as in Afghanistan, Korean War, of Canadian military units and Canadian veterans doing an absolutely incredible job defending freedom, defending the home, defending their home country. Um, what was the beach that Canadians landed in? Now I want to double check. I think it was the Normandy D-Day Canadian Juno, I think it was. Juno Beach, that was the beach. The D-Day Canadian beach was Juno Beach in Normandy, France on June 6, 1944. The Canadian 3rd Infantry Division and the 2nd Armored Brigade landed there, pushing further inland than any other Allied division on that day. Canadian troops landed on an 8-kilometer stretch between the British Sword and Gold Landing. The first wave landed near Courseulles-sur-Mer. Basically, we made it further than you guys did. Not that it's a competition, or the Americans did, or anybody else did for that matter. Rather, it's just trying to demonstrate to you that Canada has done some pretty incredible things, and the military heritage of Canada is something to be greatly admired, in my opinion. As is the military history of America, as is the military history of Britain. Like, I'm not, saying any one military heritage or history is better than any other. Rather, I'm just saying there's a lot of pride that Canadians should feel about our military and its successes and its dedication, and the freedoms that it has helped protect for both Canadians as well as those abroad. So Nathan, what is with the anger? Aside from the fact it's 1:22 and maybe you're just should get yourself to sleep, because maybe when you stay up late like me, you get a little bit cranky. And Jim H, I would not say that. I got a lot of, like I said, Canada is the greatest country in the world, and I believe that, but in part it's because we have the greatest neighbors in the world. I would say Nathan might be a little bit challenged at the moment, but hey, maybe it's just late and he's tired. Welcome, by the way, Jim H. I hope you'll take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button. Um, and let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. Um, I'd love to hear them. Jim, once again, let's be kind. I mean, I love Mexico as well. I've had the chance and the privilege to visit Mexico on 3 occasions. Every time it's been Puerto Vallarta, and I've loved it. It's a beautiful country, awesome people. Um, but yeah, I definitely would not call Americans stupid. I've got a lot of American friends, a lot of American family, and a lot of American brethren, and I love them all. Jim H, I think you're new to the stream, by the way. I don't know if I recognize your name. If you have been on here before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't, I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Nathan, I don't think you're in the right stream. I think maybe there were other streams that are more in tune with your particular thoughts, um, as opposed to here. And anybody who's watching this, if you want to give me a 99-cent super chat, by all means. We'll give it a few bit more time. Hit that like and subscribe button. Nathan, all of your messages, you got to understand, most of them are not getting through. Like I can see them, but nobody else can because you're a cranky fellow, and YouTube tends not to be supportive of cranky fellows. Put it that way. I live in Alberta. Okay, well then. You live in Alberta, but seem to not be a huge fan of Canada or Mexico. Well, so be it. I like Alberta. I haven't been there enough, really. When I talk about places I'd like to travel to, I should probably include Alberta on that list. Um, oh, well, there you go. I mean, in fairness, Nathan, you don't have to stay if you're not a fan of Canada. Um, Nathan wants me to stay away from all of Alberta. I don't think you realize, Nathan, like, Alberta's a pretty big province. You probably can't actually stop me from arriving in Alberta. Um, I mean, you can try. You'll have to basically spend your days driving from airport to airport, hoping to intercept me. My name is Cameron Adamson, but I don't think you'll have any success. Um, Freedom of speech, not freedom of speech you like. Um, yeah, well, I mean, that is freedom of speech, right? I mean, I'm not one of those people who's a freedom of anything absolutist. I think when we talk about freedom in absolute terms, what I would suggest is anybody who speaks of freedom in absolute terms should revisit the Janis Joplin catalog, particularly Me and Bobby McGee. Having said that, as a general rule, if the more freedoms one wants for oneself, the more one has to be willing to grant those freedoms to other people. Um, that's kind of the great paradox, right? If you want to be able to say whatever you desire, then part of the price you pay for that is you have to allow other people to say whatever they may want. And again, any speech restrictions you want to place on somebody else, you have to understand they may end up getting restricted on you, including stupid statements. And Nathan Ryan is making a ton of those. All right, Nathan, I can put up with a lot of nonsense on my stream. However, insulting Janis Joplin, who was one of the absolute greatest artists of all time, maybe the greatest female artist, female singer of all time. I think there's a very strong case to be made for that being the case. Janis Joplin is absolutely incredible. And anybody who would say she's a moron is not doing well and clearly has some problems. By the way, Nathan, you not only are you insulting Janis Joplin, but you're also insulting Chris Christopherson, who actually wrote Me and Bobby McGee. So you've insulted both. Who's the PM? Janis Joplin is the PM. Forrest Jesse, how can you say such things? She was incredible and her music was incredible. Um, Summertime, Piece of My Heart, Mercedes Benz, right? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. So, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? And then two more verses. I love that song. Genuinely one of the greatest. One of the greatest songs, and she's one of the greatest people. Um, Nathan Ryan, you clearly care because you're here. So you must care at least a little bit. Unless you're just like looking at my face and hearing my voice. Um, I'm an attractive fella. That's very true, Forrest, Jesse. Music is subjective. I always point that out. Actually, that's one of the main things I point out. I use the metaphor of the subjective nature of music when I'm talking about Freemasonry, and people ask me why it is um, that I love Freemasonry. My answer is always the subjective quality of anything, right? It's like saying, why do I love Janis Joplin and other people don't? It has nothing to do with Janis Joplin or the music. It has to do with me. Something about my personality, my history, probably what was happening in my life when I first heard the song. All of that stuff um, impacts my relationship to music and to that particular song and kind of decides why it is I love it, right? The things you love choose you, not the other way around. And when people say, why do I love Freemasonry? It's the same thing. I love Freemasonry because it's not about Freemasonry, it's about me. Something unique to myself, something about myself that makes me respond to it in a certain way. Her spirit and lyrics were great, though. I can agree with that, Forrest. Um, did you know her personally? I did not know her personally. She died many years before I was born, and she was from Texas, so I don't think I ever would have known her personally. Doesn't mean she wasn't pretty incredible, though. Doesn't mean she wasn't incredible. Or at least that I find her incredible. I could be. I could be Nathan, but maybe the reason that you've stuck around for this long is because actually you find what I'm saying to be of interest. And if that's the case, then I'm very happy you're still here. Or maybe you're just a sad person who likes to troll out of a lack of things in his life. That's possible as well. And if the latter is the case, then I hope you find things in your life that bring you joy and happiness outside of randomly commenting on YouTube streams. Um, Half Hawk. I'm looking outside. Are you from Chicago, Half Hawk? Because there's been a ton of snow, I was told, in Chicago. Well, I mean, I haven't been going on for the whole time, Wolf Shanza. I was off for several hours. I just got back on. Alaska, nice. I want to go to Alaska very badly to visit Masonic lodges there. I have no idea what that means, Nasser. Please hit like and subscribe. Um, that is awesome. Is it your husky or are you staying with friends and it's their husky? Um, it sounded German, but I have no clue what it means at all. You have to be careful on YouTube streams. People will, oh, it means good morning. Okay, well, in that case, Nasser, good morning to you as well. Thank you for being here. I don't know if you're new to the stream or not. I don't think I've seen you before. If I have, welcome back. If not, please hit like and subscribe, and thank you for being here. Freemasonry in Germany has a really interesting history, actually. Um, I don't know if I've ever held a 1 week old puppy. I've held puppies. I couldn't speak to their ages. Um, but there's a lot of, like I said, Freemasonry in Germany has a really interesting history. Obviously, it came through Britain, if I recall correctly, primarily and originally formed out of military encampments. Um, they are pure happiness. I would agree with that. I mean, I like animals more than I like most people. People can be very challenging. What about the Templars, Nathan? You're not one of those people who thinks the Templars founded Freemasonry, are you? Because if so, you are confusing legend for fact. Or you just be the Knights Templars being in Germany, because they were. I mean, the Knights Templars were throughout Europe. Um, it's a secret. That's the answer to my favorite Masonic jokes, right? How many Masons does it take to screw in a light bulb? It's a secret. Always loved that. Always loved that as a answer to that joke. How is it going, Rainy Girl? How is your night treating you? As always, everybody watching this, please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry? Positive, negative, or neutral? Nathan, I'm guessing your answer is going to be something vaguely rude, but do you have any thoughts on Freemasonry? Um, because again, that is what this stream is about. Tomorrow, I'll be continuing with my Remembrance Day streams. I'm also on my other channel. Going to be live streaming some of the Remembrance Day services at the Cenotaph. How many? Well, Nathan, I should have guessed there'd be some cruelty to your statements or some unkindness. Zero. Freemasonry seems like a pleasant. It can be, although there can be plenty of idiocy within Freemasonry as well. Unfortunately, Half Hawk, Freemasons at the end of the day are human beings, which means we have all of the foibles of what it means to be human. So, unfortunately, there is all the best and worst parts of Freemasonry exist within Freemasonry. I do think, and I still think this, right? And I've always thought this since I joined in 2007. If you care and if you follow the philosophies of Freemasonry and some of the lessons it attempts to impart, you will lead a good life and you will be free from kind of idiocy. But not everybody's going to follow those philosophies. I would take that even one step further. Wolf Shanza, I would say people are just people. Right? For better or worse, people are just people. Some are good, some are not so good. Again, hopefully it's possible to use the philosophies of civic groups such as Freemasons to try to improve upon yourself, to build yourself into something better, and to build the community into something better would be the goal. I think that's true. I think that's very true. I think most things don't change people, simply reveals what they are. But I do believe it's possible for human beings to change, at least to some extent. How much I believe that very much depends on the day, but I do think, as a general rule, it is possible for people to change to be better. Um, Usually, Wolf shawns that people who say they're cynical aren't actually cynical, because the definition of cynical is having an unreasonably negative expectation, right? To have an unreasonably negative expectation. So if you call yourself as cynical, it means to a certain extent you recognize it's unreasonable. What I've discovered is true cynics actually describe themselves as realistic. You are helping the algorithm, I'll give you that, Nathan. So anybody who describes themselves as realistic is probably, in that case, the true cynic. Credulous people, well, there's a beauty in simplicity, right? Steve Jobs famously had that idea. And I do think it is the mark of intelligence to be able to describe complex things in a simple way. Um, Not, you can describe a complex thing in a simple way by lying, right? But I think effective communication is about describing complex things in a simple yet accurate way. Zach, locked and loaded, please. Zach, locked and loaded, hit the like and subscribe button. I do not know what you're referring to when you say autistic. I mean, I know what autistic means, but I don't know what it means in this context or why you're saying it in the chat. Yes, keep your standards low. Well, I mean, I just rewatched Memento, half hawk, half man, and that very much basically implies just what you said. Jesus is coming. Welcome, Walter. Thank you for being here. I'm not Christian myself, but I know many Masons who are. Freemasons do not have to have a particular religious belief per se. They just need to believe in a supreme being. The nature of that is up to each individual Mason. We got a couple Alabamians on stream tonight. Welcome, Walter Matthews. Um, they can be Christian. I've been a Freemason since 2007, and I know many Christian Freemasons. I would probably describe myself as a Christian Freemason. If you said I have to pick a religion which I most closely understand or follow, I would probably pick Christian, but I wouldn't, like, that would be gun to my head. I wouldn't really describe myself as having any religious beliefs per se. I believe in a supreme being. I believe the ordered nature of the universe represents that supreme being. Having said that, I know many Christian Freemasons. I've even known a few pastors and leaders of churches who are Freemasons. Um, well, Nathan, since I've been a Mason since 2007, what I would say is I think I have some experience on this. Um, do you talk to God? I mean, I wouldn't, I'm, you could describe me as culturally Christian. Like I'm more familiar with Christianity than any other religion, but I don't like pray to a Christian God or pray to Jesus or anything like that, Matthew. Um, I do not believe in the Bible per se. But that's my own personal opinion. I know many Masons who do. Like I said, I know many Masons who are leaders of their churches. Um, well, try it, Zach, and see what happens. Um, so I guess what I would say is, right, a lot of people think that Freemasonry is a religion. It's not. There we have Freemasons who are Christian, Muslim, Jewish, First Nations. I know a few Wiccan. Um, I've known a few Masons who are Hindu, Sikh, and several who are Christian. I would say usually whatever the majority religion of your community is will be the majority religion or majority belief represented in your Masonic lodge. So if you're in a country like Morocco and it's majority Muslim, you'll have majority Muslim members. Whereas if it's in Ontario, probably going to be majority Christian. Um, you can block me if you want, Walter. That's fine. I mean, how can you block me? You can just choose not to check out my channel, which is fine. You, nobody has to be here. Having said that, Walter, let me know if you have any questions or thoughts on Freemasonry. I'm going to assume you might have some more negative views on it. I don't know if you have the same views that Nathan does, but by how does that, how does one block? I can block you, Walter, but you can't block me. And Wolf Shanze, I definitely do not agree with you on that one. I think one of the beautiful things about Freemasonry is it welcomes all men of all different faiths into the Masonic Lodge. Um, I think that's the best part about what Freemasonry teaches us. Well, I can block whomever I so choose. My channel, my rules. Or what will you do, Nathan? That's the question. Start your own YouTube channel and block me? You could, but you know. Dennis with the trophy. But you better not. Well, tell you what, if you provide a 99 cent 99 cent super chat, then I will not block Walter. Well, to do the test, Zach, you first got to give me the $50 super chat, and then we shall see. I mean, I like to think of myself as not being a sadistic anything, but who knows? Again, when you're on stream, this is a lawless land. I'm just kidding, it's not a lawless land. YouTube, please don't block me in the algorithm. I comply with all YouTube requirements, I promise. Well, in that case, Nathan, I'm just happy that you're here. That's all that matters, and it's much appreciated. It is free to subscribe, though, Nathan. I'll just point that out to you. It is free to subscribe. Um, I try to be decent. Again, whether I succeed or not, I have no clue. But I'd like to think I try my best to be decent. Um, there's that quote I really like about, I forget who said it, but it was kind of a prayer. It was, "Oh God, I don't always know what the right thing is to do, but I hope it pleases you to know that I try to do the right thing." Um, and that's kind of my philosophy. Welcome to everybody who has joined. Thank you for being here. It's not too late to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be ending this stream soon. I will be back on at 1 p.m. And I will be back on my other channel, youtube.com/Cameron Adamson, doing a live stream at the Windsor Cenotaph for the Windsor Remembrance Day services. I try to have a good time, but I also got to get to sleep at some point. I'm gonna get Catholic. I mean, you do you, Zach, locked and loaded. I don't know if you are Catholic. I don't know to what you're referring in terms of position at a school, but hey, I've known a few Catholic priests and fathers, and they're all good people. When I worked in a jail, I was a rehab officer, but the chaplain at the jail, he would bring in different religious leaders. He would bring in, an imam for the Muslim inmates, or Muslim clients, Muslim inmates. He'd bring a rabbi in for Jewish, and he would bring in a Catholic priest for the Catholic inmates. He was a really nice guy. So, um, Nathan Ryan. Hey, like I said, I got to make my way back to Alberta. I've been there, oh my gosh, decades ago. I don't even know how long it's been since I was last in Alberta. Um, but probably 20, 25 years. But I loved it when I was there. I'd love to get back. Um, I think it was in Edmonton. So, I mean, Jewish people. That would be news to the Jewish people I knew who went to jail. Just like again, what I find is human beings are human beings, whether you are Jewish or Muslim or Christian or non-denominational. You can be capable of being a good person or being a bad person. Um, Ethnicity as and religion, I don't think has anything to do with it. Um, well, then you'll have to tell that to some of the Jewish people I met who were in prison. Um, That's not to say again that they can't turn their life that for anybody in jail, and I've seen it, turn their life around, make better choices, pay their debt to society. But I find there's a whole variety of people that can end up in jail. Um, well, I mean, I don't know what that means, but again, if you are practicing of the faith, and you're practicing of the faith. Well, I mean, again, when it comes to judgment, obviously you need judges and you need people. I mean, I have nothing against the idea of jail in theory. It's what my problem is. You want to make sure that if somebody is in custody but is working to make better decisions with their life while in custody, attending counseling programs, attending workplace programs, not causing shit, not causing trouble with other inmates or with correctional officers, whatever it might be. If they're doing all those things, then you know what, good for them. And you don't want to judge them. You rather want to watch their progress. Um, that to me, there can be a lot of unnecessary judgments in the world, which I oftentimes do not think actually helps anything. Um, well, Zach, locked and loaded. Honestly, when I worked in the jail, I found it mostly, I mean, it was a job like anything else, right? There were good days and bad days, but I was proud of the work I did there. Um, Helping some people, again, because I was what was called a rehab officer. So I worked with people as they were getting released to try to find housing, employment, access services, as well as connecting with police and probation to make sure police and probation were aware of where he was going, his new address, what he did in custody, things like that. So I try my best, Nathan. Again, I don't always succeed, but I try my best. I think it's what you are judging and how you're judging, right? And certainly if you're judging more harshly on others than you would on yourself. What's the old thing? Judge not, lest ye be judged. That doesn't mean don't judge. That just means you need to apply a consistent standard um, across the board. At least that has been my experience. Well, fair enough. I still appreciate you hitting that subscribe button for a moment. No, you don't have to apologize. You can come and go as you please, your local Spurs. There's no rule about having to stay for the whole stream. Having said that, I'll be finishing off this stream shortly. But I am happy everybody is here and is joined. Truly, truly appreciated. Time flies when you're having fun. I'll be back at 1 p.m. and then 1 a.m. again. So don't worry. You'll see me back on stream at some point. I am not a San Antonio fan. To the extent I follow sports at all, I follow CFL. So, because, there you go, fidelity indeed. Because 3 downs is better than 4 downs. That's my hot take of the stream. Canadian Football League is better than the NFL. And I will die on that hill. Creates a more exciting game, more fun, more fast-paced, forces greater amounts of passing, forces more plays. It's where it's at, in my humble opinion. So go CFL. I think the Grey Cup is coming up soon, right? In Winnipeg, my old hometown. Grey Cup. Sunday, November 16th, 6 p.m. It's Saskatchewan Boo versus Montreal. About the CFL, hey, you got 2 teams in Alberta. You guys got the Stamps and the Elks, and they're both, have awesome historical dynasties. The Elks, especially, formerly the Eskimos, have an awesome sports dynasty. One of the greatest in all of sports. Back when Warren Moon was their quarterback, he was the shit. I live in Tulsa. I'm familiar with. I do not know what the Thunder is or what Tulsa is. Tulsa, Oklahoma? I thought you were from Alberta. Or is there Tulsa, Alberta, which I'm not aware? We're going to give this another couple minutes. Then we'll be ending this stream. I will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. So, or I guess today, technically. Oklahoma City Thunder. Well, now I just don't know what to believe anymore. You've gone from Alberta to Tulsa to Guam. I don't even know where it's going to be next. Clearly, I'll never catch you, though. But this also means I can go to Alberta without risk of Nathan Ryan tracking me down and kicking me out of his province. Well, how will you stop me from passing if you are in Guam, Nathan Ryan, or Tulsa, or who knows where? At this point, you could say you're from Timbuktu, and I would believe you, to be honest. I feel bad. See, I do not follow basketball at all, so I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Um, There's been a few famous Masonic basketball players. Shaquille O'Neal comes to mind, made a Mason on site. So I thought that was a really cool little piece of historical Masonic sports trivia. If I recall correctly, Scottie Pippen, number 33, a was also a Freemason. I have to double check on that. Made famous, aside from made famous because he's an incredible basketball player, made famous by The Bear, season 2, in the episode Honeydew. Yes, Nathan is a strange fellow, but hey, I still appreciate him being here very much. So, um, well, who doesn't? I mean, if you're on a team with Michael Jordan, then basically everybody needs Michael Jordan. Like, who else was not a huge basketball follower, but who else at the time when Michael Jordan was playing was getting as much attention as Michael Jordan, right? If it's one of those things where anybody on his team kind of needs him to get themselves over. Um, well, that's obviously hockey. Is Wayne Gretzky the greatest? I mean, if you're talking about the greatest, in your opinion, the greatest just athlete of all time, honestly, I would actually say it's Muhammad Ali. Greatest athlete of all time has to be Muhammad Ali, but I don't know how. I mean, maybe Mike Tyson. Um, maybe Khabib. It has to be somebody in the professional fighting sports, just because their ability to take the beatings that they take, combined with their cardio, combined with their ability to fight, all of that, indicates that they have to be at the highest level of physical health and fitness. You'd take Mike Tyson over Muhammad Ali as greatest of all time? Okay, I mean that's fair. I would say that's very fair. I got to disagree. I got to go Muhammad Ali, but there's a very good argument to be made that Mike Tyson's the GOAT. Well, but that's not really fair, right? Because, I mean, by that token, like Tyson Fury, I think who's the current guy? Um, current, um, Alexander. Basically, by that, Alexander Usyk would take Mike Tyson's soul, right? Like, Muhammad Ali actually talked about this. Was doing an interview, and the interviewer asked Muhammad Ali if he would have trouble with any of the great fighters of the past, and I think to his credit, Muhammad Ali said, no, I would crush them all. But he said it's like comparing a jet, in the 1970s to an airplane in the 40s or 30s, right? It's just as the sport changes, as knowledge of the science of sport changes, people get healthier, people learn how to train better. Every generation's athletes are greater than the generation previously, right? Like the typical football team in 2025 would crush a football team from the 80s, and a football team from the 80s would crush a football team from the 50s. Um, so you have to kind of take people as they were at their time and who was the greatest for the time in which they fought. Um, and I think for the time in which he fought, Muhammad Ali was the greatest. Muhammad Ali in his time period was greater fighter than Mike Tyson was in his time period. But that's not to say Tyson would defeat Muhammad Ali, but I think the current heavyweight champion would defeat Mike Tyson. And we know that because even with Mike Tyson, eventually he lost, right? Eventually even Mike Tyson, he wasn't at the top forever. Eventually a younger, better fighter came along and defeated him. So, I don't know about that, Nathan. I mean, to me, a draft dodger is you run away to Canada. Muhammad Ali stayed in the country, said he wasn't going to go. You know, my suspicion is Muhammad Ali probably would not have been sent to the front lines. He would have been used as some type of like mascot for the war, right? Would have been doing a bunch of press tours or something. So I don't know. I think in some ways, refusing the draft did take a level of credit, certainly a level of bravery, certainly being willing to risk losing his title. I think he did lose his title, right? Um, I mean, and having said that, as a Canadian and as somebody who's in a wheelchair, who will never be faced with the possibility of being drafted, I don't know how I would react to being drafted. I'd like to hope and pray that I would be brave and self-sacrificing and you know join voluntarily or accept the draft. But when I'm actually faced with that, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't LOL. That seems like a pretty horrible. I think it's Parkinson's, right? That he had. So whenever anybody is afflicted with disease, I'm not going to LOL it. Um, I don't think he's alive. He passed away, right? He's not alive at the current moment. Yeah, he died June 3rd, 2016. Wonder if he was a Freemason. I don't think he was. Just out of curiosity, I'll double check. No, I don't think he was. Kind of curious. Ah, Nathan, you got to be kinder. I don't know what's going on with you, why you seem to lack kindness, but I don't know if, again, if it's late and you're just tired or cranky. No, the famous boxer Muhammad Ali was not a Freemason. I didn't think he was. But Joe Frazier was a Freemason, so there you go. Um, can't hurt, Nathan. Can't hurt. I mean, R. Kelly seems like a pretty terrible dude. I've enjoyed some of his songs. I really enjoyed Ignition. That was a song that everybody was like singing back in the day, or it was at all the clubs and stuff. I never even liked clubs very much, but I liked that song. So I liked the song Ignition. Beyond that, I don't even couldn't name any other songs that he did. And he seems like a pretty terrible person. So, oh, I remember that I Believe I Can Fly song. That was on the what Space Jam movie. Never liked that song very much. Yes, Machiavelli. I have a big nose. I've learned to accept it. But that shouldn't stop you from hitting the like and subscribe button, Machiavelli. Especially because I'm one like away from 2,810 subs. So come on, help a brother out. When you have a nose as big as mine, um, you need all the support you can get. Thank you, Machiavelli. Do you have any thoughts on Freemasonry before I end this stream? Positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear them. You could do both. You can like my stream and like myself. You think Freemasons are evil? You think I'm evil? Why do you say that, Machiavelli? Obviously, I disagree. I've been a Freemason since 2007, so I've been a Freemason for 20 years. I don't think of myself as evil. Perhaps I'm wrong. But I think I'm a pretty good dude. Or let me put it this way, I try to be a pretty good dude. I don't always succeed. I probably fail as much as I succeed, but I try my best to be good. And I hope that's sufficient. But why do you think all civil... Oh, that's the question. Ma Machiavelli trained. What degree of a Freemason am I? That's usually what you get. The degree that matters is Master Mason. I'm a third degree Master Mason. I'm also the worshipful master of my Masonic Lodge. I then joined Scottish Rite. I'm an 18th degree Scottish Rite. Rose Qua. Um, However, what most non-Masons fail to understand is that the highest actual degree within Freemasonry is the third degree. That's the degree that matters because that's what allows you to be an officer in your lodge, to be worshipful master, in many cases to take part in events and degrees. So you say 33rd degree. I'm going to tell you a little story, Malachi, or Machiavelli. When I was, so I'm worshipful master of my Masonic Lodge, and we had a meeting, and there was a motion put to the floor. There was 9 Masons there, one of whom was a 33rd degree. The rest were entered apprentices to Master Masons. And the 33rd degree Mason voted one way, the others voted opposite, and the motion passed. So being a 33rd degree does not give you any extra sway in a lodge. It does not give you the ability to, sway Masonic decisions. It does not give you any authority within a lodge. You can be a 33rd degree Mason and be outvoted, be asked to leave the lodge. It's an honorific and it's a title, and it's a great honor to be a 33rd, but it does not grant you any special authority or seniority therein. Well, most would say 33rd is the highest degree, which is wrong. The highest degree is third degree. Some, like Memphis Mizraim, which is out of Europe, has higher degrees than even 33rd, but those are appendant bodies, right? Appendant bodies are not, they're valuable parts of the craft, but they don't make you more of a Mason, right? And the other thing I always point out is if you are trying to get people to join and you want them to grow within the craft, you're going to give them the information that is necessary at the start. So it's the first 3 degrees that would matter the most, one would think. Technically, you'd think the inter-apprentice degree would matter the most. I remember 98 degrees, and I never got into boy bands as a general rule. But, I will say Backstreet Boys had some bops. So I have no idea what Samothrace, to what you're referring. Apparently, it's an island in the Aegean Sea. So is that might be part of Memphis Mizraim, to be honest. I would not doubt it. Like I said, I don't love boy bands as a general rule, but Backstreet Boys, they had some bops. They had some bops, put it that way. There's a few songs of theirs I liked. But for me, if I had to pick my favorite, it'd be classic rock or southern rock. It'd be Joplin, it'd be Leonard Skinner, um, Doobie Brothers, and then it'd be a lot of the hair bands from the 80s and early 90s, like Warrant, Poison, Guns N' Roses, Rat, Cinderella, um, all that jazz. Yes, I got a big head, Big Zulu. I've grown to accept that. But that shouldn't stop you from hitting the like and subscribe button. And even doing a 99-cent super chat. You might be the only sane one here. You're a local Spurs. I've grown to accept though that, if you're going to be on YouTube, you have to accept you're going to get some crazy folks or just some interesting folks, put it that way. Much appreciated, Big Zoo. That's very kind of you. Let me know if you have any thoughts about Freemasonry. Um, well, Freemasonry is a brotherhood. It's more than a brotherhood. A brotherhood is one of the more simple ways to describe it. I would describe it as an umbrella term for civic organizations that have, existed or evolved from stone masonry guilds from the 15th and 16th centuries. Um, I would not say, though, when you say it can lead to much more, that does sound more ominous than I would put it. I mean, what it leads to is hopefully the ability to make the world a better place and make a community a better place through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. I am not 100, let me double check that. I mean, when you say some of them may have been, not every Rothschild was a Freemason, that's for sure. I think Nathan was, but I could be wrong. Yes, Nathan Mayer, according to Google, was a Freemason. I guess his brother was too. I had heard that Nathan Mayer Rothschild was a Freemason, so um, whether they were good people or not, I have no clue. I know very little about the Rothschilds. Um, I know they were business people and they got quite rich, so I have no idea what a wilding is either. Just relax, your local Spurs. I decide who gets timed out. That's okay, with just 60 seconds. Although we will be ending this stream shortly anyways. Um, but I do appreciate everybody being here. So, Machiavelli, what is it about the Rothschilds that you think, are relevant? Obviously, they were Freemasons, but there have been many people who've been Freemasons. George Washington, Ben Franklin, Winston Churchill, um, Shaquille O'Neal, all of whom I would describe as good people. So I guess my question is, what about all of even if you're not a fan of the Rothschilds, I'm not sure why, you would or would not be, because I don't know enough about them. What about all the people we know who've had positive influences on the world? Um, does Freemasonry get the credit, for example, for George Washington, for Ben Franklin, for Winston Churchill, um, Joe Louis? Again, all of whom I would describe as making the world a better place. No, I mean, I don't think, I could be wrong. I don't know the history, but I don't think Skull and Bones existed at the time of, George Washington's life. But George Washington was 100% a Freemason. He was actually incredibly active as a Freemason. Um, he was famous in Masonic circles for traveling around, like when he would have any type of official presidential business, or even when he was fighting the Revolutionary War, he would take the time to visit Masonic lodges during his travels and respond to Masonic letters from brothers asking him specifically Masonic questions or to weigh in on Masonic issues. We got hearts. Welcome, Smokey. I have over 600 movies on VHS. That is awesome. Comb over. Hey, I miss VHS. I loved VHS. Yes, get yourself to sleep. You're a local. Welcome, Comb over, Chris. Please hit like and subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry or if you have any movies about Freemasonry on those VHS tapes. VHS makes me nostalgic. Seeing a movie with the old school like static on the top or bottom or like the warble of the tape always makes me super nostalgic for my childhood. Let's have nobody be savage because I need to end this stream shortly. Um, Perfect. It took a long enough time, but I'm glad you got it. Awesome, Smokey. I'm glad that you got it. I hope you liked it. Now we just got to figure out if there's a way that we can get you the other thing I sent. But at least you got the postcard. So that is good. I hope that you liked it. No worries. I mean, some movies have Masonic symbolism and people don't even realize it. Some it's obvious, like perfect. So you got both of them. Some it's obvious, like I'm trying to think of an example of it, like From Hell, starring Johnny Depp. Some you don't realize it right away, like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, right? Sure, I love maple syrup. Who doesn't? Maple syrup is awesome. I mean, it's actually a law in Canada. You have to like maple syrup. You have no choice in the matter. So, if you don't like maple syrup, you get in trouble for it. That's what I always say every morning when I wake up. I say, Yay, Canada. And then what I say is, I need to get myself to sleep. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll be back on shortly. Have an excellent night. I have no clue where you live, Nathan. You've told me 4 different locations so far. All right, guys. See you guys later. Have a great night. And I will see everybody tomorrow, 1 p.m. Or check out my other channel, Cameron Adamson, youtube.com/at Cameron Adamson um, for the uh, Remembrance Day services at the Windsor Cenotaph. You too, Smokey. You as well.